Could we be getting an Avengers team that's mixed with the Fantastic Four and Marvel Tokon? What's going on, everybody? SSK here, and today I'm going to be talking about a very interesting find that the Tokon community discovered in the brand new gameplay footage that was released recently. This observation the community made left me extremely curious, so I want to have a little discussion on it. But before I get into the talk of the day, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. As always, I upload Marvel Tokon videos weekly, so if you want to enjoy some quality Tokon videos every week, hop on the SSK train. But with that out of the way, let's start getting into the video. So last week, Maximilian Dude and Sajam, who are some of the biggest fighting game content creators in the space, had a chance to try out the latest build of Marvel Tokon. This was the version of the game that was present at the Arc World Tour Finals 2026 that included Danger, Magic, Wolverine, and the new changes they added to the game based on player feedback from the betas. Both Maximilian Dude and Sajam ended up sharing their thoughts on the new characters and changes and what things they would like to see added in the future before release. But alongside this, they were actually given new developer footage that showcased the new characters and new changes in high-level matches. Of course, this was a pretty nice thing to do as it allows their respective viewers to see what the current state of Tokon looks like in a competitive setting. But as people were watching, they noticed a little something in the loading screen. The loading icon is the Avengers logo, but it's actually blue this time.
Okay.
Now you might be thinking, well yeah, big deal, it's just the Avengers logo but blue, right? The only problem is that we can actually see the Avengers logo in the game itself on the New York stage, and it's actually the traditional red color. So why is it that the loading screen Avengers logo looks different than the actual building one? Could it be some sort of hint? Stay with me here because it only gets more weirder. If you notice, the Fantastic Four Baxter building is literally right next to the Avengers building. Going back to the Avengers logos, when you really look at it, the blue logo really does look like the Fantastic Four logo. Not just because it's blue, but because the right bottom part is a bit longer than the red logo, making it look like a 4. So with this new discovery in the Baxter building being right next to the Avengers building, it begs the question, is the Avengers team actually just going to be a mixture of the Avengers and Fantastic Four members? Ladies and gentlemen, we could be seeing the Fantastic Four and Avengers members joining forces this time around. I mean, honestly, if both groups were a team in Tokon, this blue logo would literally fit so perfectly. It feels like a great combination of both logos, and I think that's what's making people think that both groups are going to be on a team together. Funny enough, this wouldn't be the first time that the Avengers and Fantastic Four are teamed up. In the 2020 Empire comic storyline, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and various other heroes of the Marvel Universe come together to fight against the universal threat as well. And lo and behold, that logo was also a mixture of the Fantastic Four and Avengers logos. So it's looking like this could be happening in Tokon. I'll be honest though, this discovery surprised me a lot because I originally thought that they would make the Fantastic Four be like the Ginyu Force in Dragon Ball FighterZ, where they're all just one character and different parts of Ginyu's moveset. Arxis has a track record of doing this, as Lil and his bros and Granblue are all just one character as well. So I thought perhaps they would make Reed be the main character and have Susan, Johnny, and the Thing be different parts of his moveset. But once again, the Tokon developers might surprise us. Having said all of this, I would like to provide my thoughts on what the name of the team would be and which characters will get in. First off, we have two options here in terms of the names, the Fantastic Avengers and the Avenging Four. The Fantastic Avengers is a pretty sick name, but the Avenging Four has a chance to cook harder if the lore for the team is that most of the Avengers and Fantastic Four members got beat up really badly, and the only two members that remain for each group joined together to avenge their colleagues. But speaking of colleagues, let's talk about who could be on his team. Now there are two routes this team could go for, but I would like to quickly mention that while there are quote-unquote hints at the end of the recent Amazing Guardians trailer, it is possible that the developers could be using this as a way to get people talking and then end up surprising everybody in the next trailer. Like, people could look at the Captain America team and be like, okay, so this means that Red Guardian, Buggy, and Falcon would be in Captain America's team, right? But like I said earlier, the developers might do a bait and switch with this, so keep yourself on your toes. Going back to the Fantastic Four and Avengers team, my first route would be Captain America, Iron Man, Invisible Woman, and the Thing. Iron Man feels like a no-brainer considering that he's already in the game and both him and Steve Rogers are Avengers. Susan I think would be added because not only would it be her first fighting game debut and she could pull off some really cool stuff in this game, but she adds to the female character presence in Tokon, which I feel this game needs more of. Thing would be added because not only would Tokon also be his first fighting game debut and he'd be a necessary big body for the roster, but he also has ties with Champion of the Universe, the rumored villain of the game. In the comics, the Thing fought against the Champion of the Universe to save Earth from destruction. It was a super good fight at first and the Thing gave it his all, but Champion ended up winning in the end and planned to destroy Earth. However, the Thing was resilient and never gave up. He had no intention of letting Champion get away with this at all. Feeling inspired by Thing's determined attitude, Champion helps him up and gives him his props. He quickly changes his mind about destroying Earth and just leaves in the end. So Thing's perseverance actually saved Earth, at the cost of his broken bones. But yeah, the Thing and Champion do have ties with each other, and I'm willing to bet that Tokon is going to revisit their relationship. So Cap, Iron Man, Susan, and Thing would very much make sense for Marvel Tokon. As for the other team route, I still think Susan and Thing would be on the team, but they might add Scarlet Witch instead of Iron Man. Judging from the teams we've seen so far, they have at least 2 or more female characters on them, with most of them being picks that has never been in a Marvel fighting game before, so Scarlet Witch could work for that. But then that only means that Iron Man would have to be on either Doom or Ghost Rider's team. I kinda see Iron Man being on Doom's team more since they both have shown a lot of chemistry in the game so far, so it makes sense. However, that would mean that Doom's team wouldn't be an all-villain team? Oh boy, the roster predictions for Marvel Tokon continues. But there you have it everyone, those are my thoughts on this new Tokon discovery. But what do you guys think though? Do you think the Fantastic Four and Avengers teaming up like this is a good idea? Would you like to see Johnny Storm in the game instead of Thing? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, from me to you, have yourself a blessed day.